Hi everyone, it's Jean from the Inky Owl Studio. This is part 3 of building your portfolio. And in case you have not been following me with this, what I'm trying to do is build up some basic patterns that to store away into like file folders or into a notebook. And so I can go back and see the different patterns, the way they were made for ephemera. So in the future, I can have ideas without having to search, the internet for them or whatever. So they're right there for me to tangibly look at and copy. So today we're going to be working on some tags and a little booklet. So let's get started. What I came up with was I took a piece of 8.5 by 11-inch piece of cardstock. And so I wanted to utilize this cardstock to make some tags. And I cut it in half. So therefore we've got the 8.5 by 5.5-inch piece of cardstock. Then I scored it 2 times. So what I'm making here is a triple fold out tag. I scored it at 2 3/4, and then I scored it at 5 3/4. Now if you don't have a scoreboard, that's no problem. You can use a ruler, a stylus if you have a stylus, and if you don't have a stylus, I've even been able to use these scissors, or it has a real blunt edge. Any kind of a metal with a blunt edge is kind of like pointy. You can use that in a ruler to do your score, and it'll score for you, so you have a nice way to fold it. You can fold it by hand as well. You can measure out 2 3/4 on each side and then fold it over by hand. I always like to, after I have folded this, I always like to burnish it with a burnishing tool of some sort. You can use an old key card, old rewards card or something, and just go over it so it has a nice fold to it. The key to making the triple fold tag is that you don't want this to pass this fold line here on this edge here. It's good if you come just a little ways from it. So here it's like 1/4 of an inch. I probably could have scored this a little closer, but I felt that 2 3/4 was a good thing for me to remember. So that's where I put it. Plus it allows me room that if I want to put an additional scrapbook paper here to cover it, and I want to put more things in it, then there's plenty of room for it to fold over nicely. So that's the only rule really of making these tags. Of course, you can make the tags any size that you want to, but I'm just utilizing an 8.5 by 11-inch cardstock paper. So once you've done that, then I take a credit card that I have, or an old rewards card actually, and I've already cut corners on here for like a pattern to follow, so that all I have to do is just line this up like so, snip off this, turn it over, line it up over here, and I can quickly have matching sides for my tag. So now we have a little tag shape trifold, and you can decorate this up and punch a hole in it if you want, whatever. But I wanted to go beyond this. So the next thing I thought to do was to take a ruler and cut off a half of each side. Now I used my centimeter ruler side because it was easy for me to see that this is, about 5 centimeters across, and then I can just tick it off here at 2.5. It was easier for me to deal with in inches. So, because it's a smaller area, that's just what I did. Now, you can do it however you'd like, but about 1/2 off of each of these sides is what I did. So let me just step over here and cut these off instead of dragging my big cutter. I'm just going to step over here and get those sliced off there. So now after you have these two halves, now you can have a gatefold tag. And this little tag here, this is how I made this particular tag. And you can punch a little holes into each side of your gate and have it, you know, open up like this, right? Really cute little idea. Or something else you can do if you don't want to do the ties in the front, then you can take your piece, and this time you're going to cut one side a little larger than the other side. So instead of in half, I am going to, instead of the 2.5 centimeters, I am going to come over to like 3 1/4 on this side. And this side here will be the 2.5 as usual. All right, so let's cut these off. And so now we can use a little circle. Here's my little circle. I made a little piece of cardstock with some scrapbook paper on it, cut a little circle. It can be any shape you want. You can glue this shape onto this side, only don't glue it all the way, glue it like halfway. Then you just have to tuck this side into there, and now you've got a closure that's different than the tie closure. It just kind of keeps the gatefold closed that way. So that's another way that you can do the gatefold tag. Now remember, we cut off these little half sides over here. We cut these off for the gatefold, so we've got these two half sides left. Well, now we can use these to make pockets. So let's say that here is our trifold tag. We can glue these on the inside here and just glue them along, you know, the outside edges, leaving the inside edges free. And now we have pockets for our gatefold. So we've used one sheet of 8 by 1/2 and 11-inch paper, in that we made the top section a trifold, the bottom section we made the gatefold, and the parts that we cut off from the gatefold we put up on the trifold for pockets. So that is my idea for making these fold out tags. They're really lots of fun. So this was and I put a pocket here on the inside of my gatefold as well. And oh yes, and you might want to know what this is on the outside, and this is vellum that I have put through the dry emboss plates and embossed it with this vellum, so it kind of looks a little bit like a gate. It's kind of like what I was kind of going for. But anyway, so that's that one. Now last week we had talked about belly bands, and I'd like to talk about belly bands again, only this time it's going to be belly bands for tags. So you can take a basic tag just like this, a strip of cardstock or decorative scrapbook paper, and put it right down the center, and then you've got you can attach just with staples, you can glue each end, and you've got a little place to put another little journaling card, you know, inside here. And it's a really simple concept, but it's something I keep forgetting. So I am going to put this into my portfolio so that I can remember that. So simple, but it's something that I can do easily. Um, or instead of using paper, you can use lace. So here I have a piece of lace, and actually I've wrapped it around both sides of the tag. Now the tag probably needs to be pretty stable, or otherwise it may bend a lot. But here's another little idea, just taking lace, and then I sewed a button here at the top of it to secure the lace together. Or you could, do anything up there. You can absolutely glue it. So using lace then is kind of a fun idea. But I want to go a step further. So I came up with this little, well, I don't know if I came up with it, but this is an idea that came to me. I'm sure other people have done this. And that is to make a little peekaboo window inside the belly band, so that when you tuck in your um, journaling card in there, it shows a little spot, and in your journaling card. That's really cute. So what we can do is we can just pretend that we are going to use this for our little belly band, and I'll just demonstrate how I came about doing that. Let me just cut this off here. And basically I glued it. I attached it to the bottom, and I'm just going to use a stapler here, but like I say, you can glue it for sure. Then I got my card. So let's say we're going to use this card for it, and I want to emphasize this little bee because he's so cute. So I just sort of lifted it up until I felt like I could see the middle of him, right, and kind of like mark it in that little area right there that this little bee is going to be at. Then I took my punch, put that little mark in the center. So I tried to make sure that the circle is not only in the center of my design, but in the center of my strip as well. And then I could see how to center my punch like so. And then put a little bit of glue around the circle like so. And whoops, I laid a piece of acetate disappearing on me. Put my little acetate in there. Now you don't even have to use acetate. You definitely could just leave it, as it is without anything in it if you wanted to. Just cut off this piece of acetate here. So now we have a little window right here, so that when we go to put in our journaling card, we have a little bee, and then attach it to the top as you would like it to be attached to. So that was simple what I did there for that, but it kind of adds a little interest to it and emphasizes something on that journaling card. So that was an idea that I liked very much so. This is the one that I decorated. And then one last thing I want to show you, and that is making matchbooks. Another really simple idea. It's been around for quite a while, but one that I often forget to do. I took my 8.5 by 11 cardstock and laid it down with 11 inches, the long way, and about 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. You can get like 3 strips that are 3.5 by 8.5 inch long, so that out of one sheet you can get 3 of these matchbooks. And I was just trying to utilize, as much paper as I could. They're really so simple. So just take the bottom and fold up approximately a 1/2 inch, maybe just a scotch more than a 1/2 inch. So maybe 5/8 of an inch. Fold it up like that. Burnish it. Take this and you want to fold it not all the way down to the, not all the way to the end, but you want to fold it like about halfway, if you can see this, about halfway down the present fold that you have, approximately. And you can burnish that side. Alrighty, now we're going to open it up, and if you want to ink around your matchbook, now's the time to do it, especially right here, because it'll be a little bit more difficult as you progress. So now's a good time to ink. Then I put in 2 staples. Now I want to put the staples just up, probably, this pen's not really, like right here at these points right here. Okay, so it's not too far up, it's just kind of not quite halfway either, but probably about 1/3 of the way that way. And I'm just going to put in a staple here and put in. So I've got these 2 staples here, and then all this does is come down to here, and it's like a matchbook. Cool, isn't it? Now, I just thought of this. You know what you could have done? What I could have done was this. I could have put the staples in first, and then before I folded this, then come down here with this, and then folded it later on. So I could have done that too. Anyways, either way, so there's the little matchbook idea, and it's you could put this into your journal page, and you could just glue like a pocket. Then you'd have a pocket in the back, and then you have this little flip out. And so here's one that I decorated. I mean, they can look really cute. And I covered up the staples with a little bit of this cloth here, a little bit of muslin. If you didn't like the look of that particular staples down there, you could cover them up. And so this is just, really a cute little idea. It doesn't take much to decorate it. And there's another little writing space. So that is what I have for you today. And like I've said before, I'm going to make these samples. Now, I'm not going to decorate the samples. I don't recommend doing that because it's a lot of time that you're wasting for your portfolio. I am just simply going to write notes here on the samples. Like here, I wrote, what score, the score line that I used to make the trifold, right? And then I'm going to finish by cutting this off. And that way, when I open up my portfolio, I'm going to see these different samples in here. So something like this, I'm just going to store away. And then I'm going to write on here, like on this one, I kind of did this myself, but if I had seen this somewhere else, I would write on here where I saw it, so that if I needed to refer to it again, if it was some YouTube, I would write, the channel, the name of the video, that type of thing, so that I would know where to go look again. But that's what I'm going to do with all of these. Just make blank samples and just put them in there for future reference. Now, if you haven't seen the other 2 portfolios videos, I'm going to link the very first one with this video so that you can go through them. And this is an excellent project for beginners to start building up ideas that you can go to. And I'm trying to make them easy and simple to make. I'm trying to make them so that you can almost figure it out by looking at the sample. And you will add to this over time. This, of course, is not going to be exhaustive. I won't give you every single thing that can be done, but at least you can have a good beginning. So thank you so much for viewing, and please subscribe so you can see the next edition of this portfolio building. And you have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.